right, welcome to Just Playin, where play isn't just fun, it's strategy. I'm Leia Avery, Queen of Fun, and this is where we talk about how play isn't just what you do, it's how you move. And today we're getting into something real. Let's get into it. I am so excited about today's guest.
Yes.
Let me tell you, how do I start? I actually reached out to her a
Mhm.
while back and I asked her to play my game, and she
Mhm.
said yes. And ever since then, I've been watching her consistently show up on TikTok Live, putting people onto black card games, building community, and really creating a whole vibe online. So today I've got Ronnie, aka Bossy Aries, in the building.
Mhm.
Someone who's not just playing the game, but helping push the culture forward. What's up, sis?
Yes. Well, thank you, Leah. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited. This is my first time doing this, and I embarked on this about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's come a long way. So, and I know that you were one of my first to reach out to me, and I think I was you were one of the first games that I purchased, and it's
Wow.
been going up from there. So I'm just happy to be here. So thank you.
No problem. No problem. It's my pleasure to interview you, and I want to
Mhm.
just have my followers learn more about you. So tell me
Yes.
about yourself. What made you start going live and playing games, and when did you realize people were really rocking with you?
Yes. Funny story. Well, first, I'm from Atlanta, and I I started this. pr- I'm gonna say back in 2021. Of course, in 2020, everyone was sent home from the pandemic. So I I'm so used to being social and being out, and I just didn't have anything to do. And I'm like, well, how do you function with nobody around? You're not working with anyone. Everything was locked down. Everything was shut down. So, what happened on one day, I was really stressed at work, and I logged off and I sat here at my desk and I said, I got to get out of this house. I said, but let me just try something. I was very new to TikTok. I probably had only um maybe 1,000 or more followers because I had just started going live. And I said, well, let me just try something. So I had a trivia game at my desk that I had gotten from one of the big box stores. And I said, well, let me just do that. So I went live and I started doing the trivia games, and everyone came in, everyone started participating. And I said, okay, so thank you all for letting me, giving me an outlet because I was really stressed that day. And the very same night when the trivia game, because I only had maybe 50 trivia questions, I didn't have a lot. And that night when I logged off, the next morning, my inbox was full of people saying, hey, when are you going live? When are you going to do trivia again? And I was just blown away. And I said, I don't know because I don't have anything else. I don't have any more trivia games. I don't know. So the next day on my lunch, I ended up going to the store. I went to Five Below to be exact, and they had some games, and I just grabbed a handful, maybe 10 of them, and they were ranging from emoji. You have to guess what the emoji movie is. You have to guess what the music is. It was I just grabbed them all. And so the next day went live and kept going live that whole weekend, the next week. And then people said, hey, we want more trivia. We want more trivia. And so I started doing some research, and as they say, went down the rabbit hole, and I found your game. I just started Googling. I started searching things on TikTok, and I came across Hip Hop Charades, the remix, and I bought it. I said, oh, this is fun. And I bought it.
I
And
love.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I want to go ahead. I
No,
didn't want to cut you off.
no, no. So it just, again, I just started playing that game, and it took off from there. And this was way before TikTok Shop. So again, I'm just doing some research. Um, and I can't remember what the second game I bought, and I think I went through the actual website and bought another game, and I kept just accumulating. And again, I just kept going down. And I said, you know what? We're so used to playing Uno and spades and everything. And I said, there are some really fun games out here from Black creators that I would have never known if I didn't start with your game.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hmm.
I appreciate that.
Hmm.
And and I love what you've done because you've given creatives like myself another window to share our creation to your followers. And that timing was the best time ever. It's been
Hmm.
so many Black games that popped up around 2020 and 2021. So we really, creatives have really taken advantage of that time frame during
Hmm.
COVID and being stuck in the house. And I
Hmm.
always look to you to this day, like, let me see, because you know all the newest games out there that I have never even heard of. So I'm like,
Hmm.
you're the perfect person to interview for our first version of Just Playing Live with Leia
Yes.
Avery. So can you walk us through what it looks like what happens when people join your live? What makes your live different from the others? Or maybe even say, like, what's one of your funniest, craziest live moments that you've experienced? Whichever one you want to tackle.
Yes, I've had a few, and I try to post some of them. And and as I'm posting, I'm laughing. As I'm editing, I'm just laughing. Um, I've had a lot. But what anyone can expect when you come in my live, it's I want everyone to enjoy. As you scroll TikTok, you see sometimes controversial, topics, and I try to stay away from that. And I want everyone to be able to come to my live and engage, get to know people that you would never meet out on the streets. We I make sure that it's a safe place where you're not judged or anything like that, and just having fun. So that's what you can expect. Just come in, you may be teamed up with someone you don't know, and that's what makes it fun because you get to know somebody, follow them, follow me, and I'm introducing new games probably, every day. So but that's what you can expect. Just a no judgment zone, and just have fun, laugh, and just enjoy the moment. And of course come back, for the next game night, of course. um but let me see. One of I'm gonna I don't want to embarrass anybody, because we've had so many um funny moments. We were playing a game called How Many of Us. And like I said, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but so I'm not going to, everyone is to remain nameless, but they know who they are. So the game is called How Many of Us, and the question was, how many of us have eaten dog food? And
Oh,
so
wow.
so and I'm thinking, oh, nobody. Unfortunately, there was someone in the live panel that did.
What?
Yes. And I posted it. She was okay with me posting it. But that was one of the funniest moments. And like I said, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but that was hilarious. It caught me way off guard. But I have so many moments that I don't even post because I probably, that's all I would post. I probably wouldn't even be able to post any game night content because I'm posting these moments. But yeah, we do have a lot of fun, and I've met a lot of people with on my platform with doing game nights. That's one of the things that has boosted my following count, is because they feel good about coming in, having a good time, and there's nobody, we're not arguing back and forth, like you see on social media apps. But
Right.
that's what you can expect, just a good time, and come back for more.
It's always a good time, and then I just randomly always scrolling on TikTok, and I see you popping up with your live, and I got to give it to you because I've tried to be consistent with going live on TikTok,
Mhm.
and I'll start, but I can never just keep that consistency up and do
Yes.
it every. So, do you have any tips for us creatives who want to be consistent on going live on TikTok, but can't seem to just keep that discipline? What can you tell us?
Yes, and in the very beginning, I was very consistent in the very beginning, only because my schedule could accommodate, me going live. So I was going live on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and trying to do content. So I mean, it is difficult. You do have to have and you do have to have like a, I call it a work life balance. But one of my tips will be just set. Don't go too big in the beginning. I think I bit off more than I can chew in the beginning. So what my suggestion would be is just start one day at a time. So let's say if one of your, you know, if you're free on Wednesday nights, then just go live on a Wednesday for 1 hour. You know, don't, be intimidated by all the other creators who may go live for 4 and 5 hours 5 days a week. You have to make sure that you're going to be consistent. And I would just suggest starting small and then build yourself up. If you have another day that you can go live for another hour, then do that. But don't just start, okay, well, I'm going to go 5 days a week and I'm going to go live for two hours. You don't want to do that. And then you want to, set your audience up. You want to set the expectation that, okay, I'm going to go live Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So from 7 to 8, that's when I'll be there. So they can expect that. But if you start off big, then they're going to expect you to be there 5 days a week, 2 hours. I'm telling you, and I get messages all the time when I'm not, if I, if I miss one day, my inbox, hey, where are you? You going live tonight? And I feel so bad because it's like life is happening and I'm trying to, maintain, my presence online. But most people understand because again, life happens and you can't control that. Um, and I do let I do let them know sometimes because I've had some things go on personally, because just with my parents and everything, so they understand. And that's the thing, when you get that rapport with your followers, they know what's going on, personally with you, and they check on you and everything. So you just get that rapport. But again, my suggestion would be start off small and see if you can be consistent with that. And then if you want to add another day or maybe another hour, so on Wednesdays, if you go an hour and you're having so much fun, add another hour. But just don't bite off more than you can chew, like I did in the very beginning.
Okay. Those are some
Mhm.
great tips. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. And then watching you grow, I've seen how you started
Mhm.
off where you was just pretty much in front of the camera playing the games, responding to
Mhm.
people, and now you have your panel. So tell me about
Yes.
the significance of the panel and how that creates a different experience.
Yes, I do have, I call them my day ones. They've been following me on this journey since I started it, and they consistently show up for me. And I appreciate that because it's just the support to, you know, encourage me to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I do have weeks where, I just sometimes I don't, feel like going live. Um, and they understand. And, they, like I said, they support me 100%. So I do have um my, what I call my moderators. So they'll show up in there, even if it's just two people in the live. It'll be both of my moderators, and people will come in and out. So that, like I said, that keeps me going. And like I said, sometimes it's I can have maybe 20, 25 people in a live. Sometimes I may have seven. But to me, if it's just one person in there, I'm going to entertain that one person and we're going to have a good time. So that's how I look at it. But my day ones, those are the ones that motivate me and keep me going.
I'm glad that you said that too, because sometimes I know that happened to me. I may get a little disappointed when there's like one
Mhm.
person in there. It's like, okay, well, what am I keep on? Why am I doing this for? And you know, like the longer you
Mhm.
stay on live, more people come in. They might come in and out. But I'm glad you
Yes.
said that. No matter if it's one or 21 or 101, you're gonna still give
Mhm.
it. You're gonna still play and have a good time and have yeah and provide a good
Yes,
experience.
I am. Yes,
I
yes.
love that. Love that. Why do you think black games hit different?
I think we can kind of what do I want to say? It's more of a I'm at a loss for words. It's the culture that you can, relate to. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
You can relate to these games, and some of these things they hit home. Some of these games really, really do hit home, and it just amazes me when I get these games, and my family they laugh at me because whenever I get a notification on my phone that a package has been delivered, I get on a high because I mean I am so serious because I am so excited to get the game. Once you're looking at it online, but my thing is I'm excited once that delivery confirmation comes through. I'm down at the mailbox and I am getting this game. I'm unboxing because that's it makes me excited and it's that's why I know that this is for me because right now there's nothing that just makes me excited. I don't look forward to a lot of things, but I look forward to going on live and playing these games and trying it out. And I've even, I have events that I go to and I've tried the games there. And now I have, other people sending me messages, "Hey, when are you going to have like a full-fledged game night?" Well, I'm kind of trialing it right now. So, that's where I am now, but I just get so excited. I have something in the mailbox right now, so after we get off of this, I'm gonna head down there and get it.
And I get it. It's just something about, like you said, our culture and how we can
Yes.
identify with it. And when you make a game out of it, it's just, I don't know. It's
Mhm.
refreshing to be able to relate to other people based on whatever the subject. And we're just so
Mhm.
creative individuals. I just the experience and once you think like is once you think there's nothing else to think of in regards to a card game or an idea, here goes some more and some more. Like I'm loving all the creatives that's out there bringing their
Mhm.
best, and I can tell that you have a passion for what you do, and I do as well. So we can share that common goal. Just playing
Yes.
games and providing a fun experience, and
Yes.
people when you gonna come back? When it's like you just never know what people are going through in their life, and when
Exactly.
you and they're able to put their life, they life be life, and they put that on pause, and they can actually live in the present moment and have a good
Mhm.
time. So,
Mhm.
you got to give yourself a pat on the back, sister, because we are doing something that helps us heal.
Yes.
It really is. So, um, I do want to ask you. Can you actually make money doing this? Like, how do you turn going live into income?
So, with TikTok Shop, that has been like I said, when I first joined TikTok, there was no such thing as TikTok Shop. So now that TikTok has evolved and allowing affiliates such as myself to not only put a product out there in front of our followers, but to what they call is just you have an affiliate link and you just make commission. So there's an amount of commission that you can make off of each sale, and it can range. Some creators decide, not to do commission, which is fine because, sometimes their budget may not allow that. But I'm still gonna, I'm in it because this is what I like doing. The money, of course, is commission is just, an extra bonus. But even if there was nothing in it for me, I just want to be the reason that someone gets a sale or two or five or 10. But it does through TikTok Shop, you do get, somewhat of a kickback for promoting games.
Okay.
And then for going live, TikTok will also give you a certain percentage as well. So there are two streams of income you can make on, you know, with going live and promoting games as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, what advice would you give someone that's trying to do what you do?
Well, um, you do want to be consistent because you're going to have you're going to have those followers that are going to be looking forward to you, as you mentioned. And I like that you mentioned that, because sometimes people have a bad day at work, they may have had a bad week, and they're looking forward to you going on live on a Friday night so they can, laugh and have some fun. um don't with me, um like I said, it's the only advice, like I said, just only do what you can do when it comes to going live. Um but I do recommend just getting a set schedule. That's one thing I do recommend. And you can use TikTok to schedule a live event, and that way people know ahead of time that you're going to be live. Um, and like I said, just be consistent with your posting. TikTok is the algorithm is kind of hard to it's hit or miss, and I have not figured it out. Sometimes, some weeks it's good, some weeks it's not. But just my advice, just don't get discouraged. Just remain consistent, because what makes me happy is the game creators, when they reach out to me, when they when also when I post their game, they interact with me. Some of the game creators come into my live, actually, and then they start interacting with my followers, and that makes me feel good. I'll always shout them out and say, hey, we got such and such in here, and they're the game creator. And then they interact with my post and other people, and it makes my followers feel good, because they're like, oh, the game creator reached out to me, and that can encourage someone to purchase your game, because you're the creator, you're interacting with them, and they get excited, and so they start following them, and end up purchasing a game or two. And like I said, that's what I'm here for, exposure. But just remain consistent and don't give up, don't be discouraged. You can I've seen a lot of game night hosts on TikTok come and go, believe it or not, over the years. Um, and my day ones always say, well, you started this, 5 years ago.
Yes.
And I'll take credit. I'll definitely take credit. I
Yeah.
will.
Brush your
I
shoulders
will.
off. Go brush your shoulders
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll take
off.
credit for it. I definitely will.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely a pioneer. Can you
Hmm.
name some of your favorite games that you enjoy playing, or some of your top selling games that people actually purchase off of your TikTok shop?
Ooh, I actually have one of them, and it's I'm thinking that most of my followers, they like to indulge in you know, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So, so, and it's just so funny, because this is called Shot O'clock.
Okay, I think I heard about that one.
Yes, and when I tell you, this one specifically is my number one seller, and the young lady, I had to reach out to her um about a month ago because it sold out. And I
Wow.
said, hey, I promote your game on, in my content. And so it was a couple of people that reached out to me and said, do you know when this game is going to be back in stock? Like, I'm the game creator, but I don't mind reaching out to the creator, because, they're looking at my content. So they're thinking that, oh, well, I can reach out to you because, the game is not there. So what I do is I'll reach out to the creator and say, hey, there's a high demand for this particular game. When are you going to do a restock? So, and one thing I will say, all of the game creators are very responsive, really, really nice. I have met a lot of nice people in this journey, a lot of nice people, including yourself, Leah.
Oh, thank you.
Um, yes, but that is one of the number one sellers. And like I said, that's one of those. Um, what else? and that is one of my favorites, just the questions. And of course, I love your game because it's you get to play it in several different ways. And one of my favorite games is always the acronyms.
Oh
When I tell
yeah.
you, I love those games because it is just so funny what people think it is, and I'm just like, how are you getting that out of
Where you get
this?
that from? Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yes. So I love that. I love that. And another one of yours is petty or not. When I tell you that I realized something about myself that I didn't want to realize.
What, you petty?
I think so. I think so. So I didn't know. I thought I was, I thought I was okay, but that's one of my favorites as well.
Well, you are
Um,
a Aries. I'm just joking.
you know what? And I'll take that because you're right. You're right. You are right. You are definitely right. But also I like a lot of music trivia. I am a music, I mean, if I'm not listening to music, whether I'm in the car, in the house, it if I'm not listening, my day doesn't go right. So anything that's associated with music trivia, that's my thing. That's my niche.
Name
I love music.
what's some of the music trivia games you like playing?
So lyrically correct is one of the biggest
My
ones that
favorite, yes.
yes.
I
And
love them.
I do. I mean, I when I discovered them, I actually went to a party and we played that, and people were just like, "Oh, where did you get this game from?" And funny story, they have the '60s and '70s edition of Lyrically Correct, and I even played with my parents,
Mm.
and some of them they got it wrong. They were arguing back and forth, saying, "No, it's this, it's this." I said, "Well, no, both of y'all are wrong. It's this." So they had a really good time. I remember I played it on Christmas. We celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. We get together as a family on Christmas Eve, and I that's the game that I played, and it was just hilarious. But it brought back a lot of memories because they started talking about other things, when they were answering the questions. So that's why I love music trivia because it opens up other, dialogue and other conversations. And I just whenever there's music involved, it I mean that's like I said, that's my thing. So most of my game night collection consists of music trivia, um, specifically the '90s. So you'll see a lot of that content. And then movies. A lot of people do like movies. I'm not a movie person. But I've learned a lot about movies, but that's not my thing. But I make sure that I incorporate that in because a lot of people like movies, and I've had people request that I do more movie content, more movie games content, and also more movie trivia when I go live.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love some movie trivia games too. So all of these games you mentioned, Lyrically Correct and Shot O'Clock, are they all available on your TikTok shop?
Yes, everything is available. I believe I have over in my TikTok shop. I think I have over 150 games
Wow,
in my
really?
showcase.
Look at
Yes,
you. Okay.
yes.
Can you give us one example? I know Shot O'Clock is kind of, adult like, but can you give us like one example of how to play Shot O'Clock or one of the scenarios?
Yes. So their Shot O'Clock has finished the lyrics. It has named that movie. There's also challenges. There's truth or dare. So let me actually, I since I do have it here, um, this is one that I love whenever I'm playing games. This is this always gets everybody. So it says name different cereals. So everybody has to go around and name a different, brand of cereal. And if you can't think of one, because you got 5 seconds, and if you can't think of one, you get dropped out of the box. And so that's
Okay.
that's one of the fun ones. And also I mean, like I said, name that movie, finish the lyrics. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot of different categories within one game. That's what makes it fun. It's
I
not
love
just
that.
one. Yeah, it's not just one set of questions. And then it has where you have save cards. A lot of different cards in here. But like I said, this is one of the faves, and I'm not a I'm not an adult game player a lot because I don't, I'm not judging anybody who does, but I'm not one of those that partakes in a lot of that. So, but I know a lot of people who do, and they love this game.
Okay. So it's like, do you have to take a shot if you can't do it in 5 seconds?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Oh yeah, those are the
yes,
good ones.
yes. And a
Well,
lot of people they request those games because they want to be on live, and just like I said, winding down on a Friday night. You know, that's just what they want to do, and I have no judgment about it. Hey, just let me know, and I'll be there. If you bring the drinks, I'll bring the games.
yes, absolutely. And I love your personality. I remember, didn't I go live with you before? And we played the games on your live
It's probably been a
a
while
long
ago.
time ago. A long time ago.
Yes,
But
yes.
I really enjoyed it, and the experience is pretty cool. And
Mm.
your fan bases, they were really into it. So I
Yes,
appreciate that what you do for us creatives, and
yes.
you're doing. You know, I have a question for you. Have you
Okay.
ever thought about creating your own game?
I get that a lot. Um, and I've thought about it, but and I'll be real honest and transparent with you. So the idea or ideas that I come up with, they're already out there. But what I've noticed is there are several games that kind of are the same in the same lane, but they're still, able to maintain and thrive. Um, so that's one of my things. I don't want to create the same type of game that's out there, but I mean, you could. There are so many like this one is or take a shot. There are a lot of games out there that are people take
Very
shots
similar.
and yeah. So I think that is what has kind of held me back a little because I'm like, well, what's going to make my game different than this one over here, and why would they buy this if they already have this game? So, um, but I'm changing that because I'm seeing as I'm continuing on this journey, um, I liken it to what if Burger King thought the same thing before they opened? They said, well, McDonald's sells burgers. Why would someone come to Burger King? Because everybody doesn't like the same thing.
Exactly. And I was going to say that to you. You know, yeah, just like bread. Everyone got their own bread, their own cereal. It's just a different name, and you can always put your different spin on it to make it different. So there's always
Mhm.
something that you can do to make yours shine
Mhm.
outside of the competition. And I remember you were supposed to be in the game creator workshop. Remember?
Yes. And and what happened was my dad, he went to
Say
the
what
hospital.
happened
He was
was.
in the hospital. He was in the hospital. And I got, I'm a daddy's girl. So I got thrown off. And yeah, that year was really, it was a lot going on. It was a lot going on. I remember it was a whole lot going on. So
Yes.
yes. But I just want to thank you just for, hanging in there with me and just keeping in contact with me, because that like I said, that I appreciate that, and like I said, you're one of the ones who I've known for a very very long time, and you're doing your thing. I love to see you at your events, and I'm looking for the opportunity to learn from you, and also keep this relationship going so that we can bounce out ideas off of each other, and I'm here to support you 100%.
Yes, thank you so
Mhm.
much, and
Mhm.
I really appreciate that. And I know how life be life, and believe me,
Mhm.
especially with parents getting older and things
Yes.
like that. Hopefully, everything is, okay.
Yes.
Um, so I'm going to share something with you. So so I've had so I have the acronym game with Hip Hop Charades Remix, and I've been sitting on it for a very long time.
Okay.
And when what's it called? Culture tags came out. I'm like, wow. And I
Yes.
felt the same way. Like, I don't want to bring it out now because they already. But I'm like, no. So I figured out how I can make it different. I said, well, let me use my original way the hip hop charades is played, where you have to guess a slang word and call it the remix and make it two games in one box. So that was just me telling you this. So there's so many different ways on how you can spin it to make it shine, to make it,
Yes.
the Bossy Aries vibe. So
Mhm.
don't let that stop you, because I'm sure with all these games you're playing, you're supposed to get that influence and inspiration to create your own. That's you know
Mhm.
that's like your full circle moment. So don't
Yes.
don't let that stop you from being yourself, and put something out there that people can enjoy. So
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
that way you won't be shoulda, coulda, woulda. So
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's never too late. And you have the best research of it all, because you're playing all these different games. You're seeing how everyone's responding to it. You see which one is the most popular, which is this, which is that. So you're the perfect person to come up with your game idea, because you know how it's going to turn out, and you know how to
Yes.
put your spin on it to make it better from what you've experienced. So yeah, don't let that
Yes.
stop you. And if you need any help, I'm your girl to help you with ideation and things like that.
Okay.
So yes, and
Yes.
thank you so much for taking your time out for telling us all about you and how you help push the culture forward. Please let people know where they can find you and what you have coming up next. What days again can we catch you, and times for your game
Mhm.
nights?
So I am I I know this has been out here before, but there's on Fridays I'm gonna start going live every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the my game night part of it is game nights with Bossy Aries. So you can find me, that's my handle, game nights with Bossy Aries. And like I said, I'll start going consistently Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And I just joined TikTok. I'm sorry, Instagram. I just joined Instagram a couple of weeks ago. So um, on Instagram, it's called Grown Up Game Nights. So it's a different handle on there. I am going through. What I'm trying to do right now is I want to be consistent, and I want to have the same name on both platforms. So I'm kind of testing it out on Instagram right now. Like I said, I'm just new to joining Instagram, just to further my reach. So you'll see some things on Instagram, but you'll see more of my content on TikTok. So please follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if there are any games that you are interested in me playing on my live, I do take requests. So if you're going through my showcase on TikTok, if there's a game that you're hesitant about buying or you want me to play it on live, I'll be more than happy to. And sometimes I can I've also actually invited one of the game creators in, and we were on a split screen and we played the game together. So if that's an option, I'll definitely, do that. But I just look forward to, going further with this journey, and hopefully I can embark on, my own game sooner than later. But I definitely appreciate you, Leah. I really, really do. Um, this has become my passion, and I'm there's no turning back. So I'm here. I am here, and I want to take it further. I want to hopefully host game nights here locally here in Atlanta. So if anyone is in Atlanta, make sure you follow me. And if you want to have a game night, reach out to me. I don't mind whether it's 90s theme, 2000 theme. Let me know.
Girl, yes. We had this conversation before, and I still
Mhm.
stand on it. So, you know, I think this is our full circle moment. I'm just
Yes.
about 3 hours, maybe 4 hour drive from Nashville to Atlanta. So, man, let's go ahead and plan that. I would love
Okay.
to collab with you and do a game night where we feature all the coolest black games out there and make it a consistent thing. I would love to
Yes.
do that with you. So,
Yes.
just give me the word. We can start looking for a location
Mhm.
and start planning.
Yes, and I definitely will take you up on that offer. I have some things going on. I have some things in the works. My sister and I, we're working on something, just working on uh, a place to. It's going to be multi-use, so it's going to be like an event center, and so yeah, there are some things in the works. She has a community. that she's working with a meeting group that she works with, and she's just looking for someone somewhere permanent to have it. And so the next thing that comes out of everyone's mouth is, so are we doing game nights? And so that's the biggest thing right now. So I'm looking, and to be honest with you, just being here in Atlanta, I don't see a lot of I see game nights here and there, but I don't see a lot. And I think this is a good time for me to break into this. Perfect
Yeah.
time.
It's perfect timing, and it's a lot of black game creators in Atlanta. So you would think it would
Yes.
you would see more of it, but I think a lot of the game creators are, they're just pushing their game and they're not too much, behind the microphone hosting. So,
Yes.
but you being who you are would be
Mhm.
great to bring them out and feature them at the game nights and all the things. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we gonna talk, girl. We gonna talk. I'm
Yes,
excited. I'm
I'm
excited.
excited too. I said, I just started, I revamped my account last year, so I think last May, and I really started focusing on just the quality of my content that I put out. And I put a lot of work into my content. I really do. I want to make sure it's clear, you know what you're getting. And I was looking recently. I was looking at the videos that I started doing a few years ago, and I'm like, I've come a long way with the quality of my videos, and
Yes.
I'm just looking to go further. And I know my family, they make fun of me because they say I have like a warehouse here because I have boxes of games. Like it's like it's amazing because I need to record content, and that's another thing. It's real. That's another part of it about being in this space. Editing content, it's a lot.
It is.
It is a lot. And so on the weekends when I'm not busy, I try to at least record 10 to 15 videos on the weekend, and that's a lot.
Wow, that is a
That
lot.
is a lot. It really is. So that would be one thing that I would, advise anyone who's stepping into this arena. You got to have the time to do the content. You do. And you got to be consistent. I have to put something out every single day. And if you're not ready for that, you know, I mean, you're not going to find your target audience. You're not going to find people who are going to, support you, but the consistency is the thing. But that editing and doing your content is really, it's very time consuming. But I get enjoyment out of it. I look at the cards and I'm reading the cards that I'm going to display, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. I wonder what their response is going to be when I put this up. So I get, I get, that's why I just get so excited because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna record this, and oh, I hope they like it. And then that's another thing. You think you're gonna get all these likes and interactions, and sometimes you don't. And it's like, do you know how much work I put into this particular video? And I got 2 likes.
Girl,
so,
that's TikTok for
so
you.
but luckily for me, again, I'm more in it for the fun of it. So if I do get 2 likes, that's fine. It's 2 people that liked it, and then your next post, you may get 100 likes. So just be prepared for just the inconsistency with the likes and support, and just keep going. Just keep going. Don't let it discourage you that someone, or you may not even get any likes or any views. But don't let that, if it's something that you like to do, just stay at it. And that's me. I like doing this. I don't do it for the likes. I do it because, hey, I this game, I played this game, and I love this game, and I want at least one person to see it, And I mean, I've done my job, but I do it because I like what I'm doing. I really do. And I would love to, you know, get into this full time. I really would like to do this full time. I would.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes. We gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother episode.
Yes, 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 it is. It
It really
is.
is. But yes, we can definitely talk about that because that's been what I've been doing all these years. And the struggle is definitely real. I gotta tell you. But once you just put yourself out there and
Yeah.
and discipline and stay consistent like you have been, you will see
Yes.
the results. It never fails. It's like 1 + 1 is 2. So I got to give it out to you. You know, you've been very disciplined and very consistent, and
Yes.
I love seeing you bring all the joy and fun and keeping us updated on all the Black games that's out there. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being a part and being the first interviewee with Just Playing with Leia Avery.
Yes.
Y'all already know the vibe. This is Just Playing with Leia Avery, where play isn't just fun, it's strategic. And we'll see y'all next time.
All right. Thank you so much, Leah.
Peace. Thank you. This was amazing.